You have certainly noticed how we, as a society, are surrounded by warnings, alerts. They are basically everywhere. You are a smoker, you take a cigarette, and it's warning you. To smoke can cause you to have a cancer. You get into your car, then there's a traffic sign. Speed limit. It is a warning. 70 miles per hour. Going beyond that, you put others at risk. You're going to take a medication depending on it. You see on the box, this medication can make you dependent on it. You go to the doctor, and the doctor tells you so many things about your health that can be harming your health. But one of the main warnings that can cause you to have butterflies on your stomach, whenever I get into a lift, an elevator here in Brazil, usually just above the button that you press to use the lift, has a warning. Before getting into the lift, certify that the lift is on the floor. If this doesn't bring butterflies in your stomach, I don't know about you, but it is a warning. What a warning. There are many warnings, alerts everywhere. And as the saying says, a friend who warns is a friend indeed. And the Word of God speaks about King Solomon twice in the book of Proverbs. He said the same thing but in different ways. Proverbs 22 verse 3. A prudent man foresees evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. One of the main characteristics of a prudent person, which is another word for wise, a prudent person is wise and a wise person is prudent, is that they tend to have an attitude of preventing problems. They aim to foresee what their actions of today can cause soon or tomorrow or later. So a prudent man, as it says, foresees evil. It's not that they have a crystal ball, but they have intelligence. God gave us intelligence and capacity to understand that certain things, if you do it, will produce certain results and consequences. It's like mathematics. 1 plus 1 equals 2. I don't need to have a crystal ball to know 1 plus 1 equals 2. I know it is 2. I don't need to test. I know it. This is the prudent person. They know what most probably will happen if they do this or that. So if they know that a certain action will harm them, so they hide themselves, which means they prevent themselves from that. I'll give an example. You have someone in your house, in your family, spouse, child, parent, you live with someone. And you have a great problem because this person has a short temper. They are a loose cannon. It's hard to live with someone like this. It's very hard. It's hard to live with, to coexist. You can only survive with someone like this. But let's say you live with someone like this and you know that they quickly lose their temper. And you know, because you live with them, you know which buttons, if they are pressed, will cause an explosion. If you are prudent, naturally, you will not push these buttons. Naturally, you aim to prevent an explosion in that person. Of course, they are the wrong one. They have a problem. They need to seek for help, to treat that problem, to overcome their emotions. But if you cannot choose whether to live with them or not, because you have to, then you must be prudent. You need to foresee evil. I know that if I do this or say that, it will cause an explosion. So what should I do instead? Then this person is a prudent person. That's why in another proverb it says, a soft answer turns away wrath. Which means the person is angry, and you bring an aggressive word against that person. You increase their wrath, their anger. So a prudent man foresees evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. It's the old story. I will pay to see. In a general way, we humans have a side of us, a part of us, in us, that is anxious and wants to solve the problem of now. And it thinks like this: well, I need this now, I need to do this now, I know it is not the best. However, tomorrow I'll solve the consequences of it. So within us, there is this kind of thought to try to solve now and to push or to put off the consequences for later. Right? You can see this in the politics. When a governor, when they're there for 4 or 8 years, depending on their role, or when election happens, usually a politician takes actions knowing that later that will bring problems to the country. They increase taxes, they touch the pension of people, then implement a reform, and they know that later the bill will come. But in their heads they think, when the time comes, I will no longer be the governor, the mayor, the president. When the time comes, this problem will belong to someone else. I did my part. I cleared my name, right? This is the situation that, unfortunately, many bring to themselves and others, putting off the problem for later. And this is not to be prudent. This is not only imprudent, but this is iniquity. It is evil. It will bring no good to your life. This provokes God. Provokes God. I will not dive into this topic, but Hezekiah did this when he said that evil would come not upon his government, but in the days of his son Manasseh. And Hezekiah said, good is this word. This is terrible, right? It's terrible. He thought it was good that he wouldn't pay the price, but the son, and he truly paid the price. Anyway, but the simple pass on and are punished, and they are punished. Proverbs 27:12, in different words he says, a prudent man foresees evil and hides himself. The simple pass on and are punished. He speaks also in the sense of warning. What is the Bible, if not the greatest warning humankind can receive? There is a book in the Bible called Revelation. Then I ask you, is there any greater warning than this? A book that speaks about trumpets that will sound. Is there any greater warning that human beings can receive? Then, when the day of the final judgment comes, people won't be able to plead ignorance. They won't be able to say, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. Nobody told me. They can say that they didn't pay attention, that they were frivolous, that they put off the consequences for later, that they didn't believe in it with seriousness. You know that fresh paint warning? There's a warning there. Warning, fresh paint. And someone has to touch with their finger to test. Do you know what I'm talking about? Fresh paint. You just need to write fresh paint and someone would touch it with their finger. If there was no warning, no one would touch it. But because it says fresh paint, they want to verify that that warning is true. This is human beings. This attitude of paying to see. It's the old story that God warned man in the garden. If you touch this tree, the day you touch it, you will die. A warning. The devil came and said to Eve, no, it's not like that. God is overreacting. God is hiding something from you. He does not want you to have the knowledge that he has, that he doesn't want you to be like him. So the devil manages to convince people to ignore the warnings and to think that the warnings are stealing them from something good. Whereas a warning comes to prevent us from paying the price. Dear friends, be prudent. Let us all be prudent. Adopt this behavior to your life. A behavior of prudence. Prudence means to foresee evil, to understand, to pay attention to signs, to warnings. It's not to live in fear, but to live with wisdom. Why would I put to the test what was already tested by others and it went wrong? Do I need to jump off a building, a 10-story building, to know that I will die? I don't need to do this. Do I need to be in a car crash to know that I can become paralytic, that I can kill others, people on the street or those who are with me? I don't need to do what others did, and they proved that it doesn't work, to learn if it works or not. I only need to learn with others' mistakes. This is to be prudent. Be prudent. Be wise. And like this, you save yourself from lots of headaches. And don't forget, when you enter a lift, to verify first if it really is there on your floor. When the doors open, he who warns is a friend indeed. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.